Oh, there we go. Hi, Asia. It is such an honor to talk to you about this show. It's so lovely to meet you.
Such a pleasure to meet you. Thank you.
So, to start off, every time I remember that in Lessons in Chemistry, the book version of Harriet is different than the series version, I kind of like can't believe it all over again because your version is so integral to telling this story. And I would love to hear, since you have the unique job of creating a character who both exists and like doesn't exist since she's being transformed, what was your favorite part about getting to know Harriet as you went through this process?
Yeah, I too loved the book Harriet as well. And I was so excited to see how they wanted to transform this character. And it really took me by surprise. And I mean, it was utterly magnificent that they wanted to shine a light on Harriet's story in such a profound way and really allowed me to take center stage with how this was portrayed. And I value that if we're going to tell a story set in this period of time, we have a responsibility to expand the world, to give it the context of what was happening during that time period.
Mhm.
And that was a responsibility that the creators, that Brie, that everyone took so seriously. Um, which was another thing that I really appreciated because I mean, it was such a beautiful collaboration. People were constantly checking in, especially Brie, with like, does that feel right? Like, does that feel
Mm.
true to you? And just having that openness and dialogue to be able to say, like, just from my historical understanding of that period of time and from the stories that I got from my mom and my aunts, my grandma, like having that passed down, knowing that like this is a part
Mm.
of their lived experience and being able to embody that in such a grounded way through great writing and just like such intentional community around this, like it just blew my mind. Like the whole
Yeah.
it's really blew my mind, and it was great to get to know this Harriet and learn about all the facets of her life and what then the nuances of her life that they wanted to portray.
Mm. Yeah, that was actually going to be my follow-up question was about this added Sugar Hill plot line and kind of your research process. And I'm not sure if you got to learn anything about the real people or kind of how you approached that, but I'd love to hear about that.
I was very lucky because they brought on a cultural consultant, Dr. Shamel Bell, who was able to give me so much context about that period of time. And she was just such a wealth of information, and it was, I mean, very necessary to how I was able to
Hmm.
dive into this character and tell this story. And just learning about it, like I knew about, racially restrictive covenants that would block Black families from owning homes in certain neighborhoods. Um, but I didn't know that this West Adams, Sugar Hill community existed. I didn't, like, this is where Hattie McDaniel had a mansion, where
Mm.
Rachel lived. I did not know that. And this
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
I know, like, and that's what made it feel even more important in the telling of this story, because these stories need to be told. We need to understand
Yeah.
what has happened in these places we are. So now when I'm driving on the Santa Monica Freeway, it's like, oh, this was once here, you
Mm.
know, and it's kind of devastating. But it's what happened. It
Mm.
is it is what happened, and we should know about it, and we should never shy away from knowing our history, because only when we understand the things that have occurred in the past can we make better choices for the future.
Mm.
The telling of the story and being able to share that with the world has been a phenomenal experience.
Yes. And the one of the other really impactful aspects of the series is the holistic complexity of all of the women and just womanhood in general because everyone is shown in such different scenarios and the relationships are so deep and beautiful. Has it impacted the way you relate to the women in your life?
I mean, I feel so lucky because with I have such a variety of women in my life, and as an actor, as an artist, I think we are trained and geared towards looking for nuance in people,
Mm,
looking for those tiny details about human beings. But what I value about the way we told this story in Lessons in Chemistry is that they really highlighted that, because I don't think that that's
mhm.
all thing that is shown, how
Yeah.
different women can be, how similar and how different, how I mean, if you take, mine, Stephanie's, and Bree's characters, Harriet, Fran, and Elizabeth, like these three very different women who have been affected by discrimination in utterly different ways, and you see how it has altered the course of their lives, and they are all so different. And
Mhm,
I think seeing the fullness of that, being able to explore the world of differences, like when it comes to how we may feel about marriage or motherhood, or
mhm,
finding community, how we deal with trust and love and what makes us feel safe. Like, these women all approach that so differently, and that is how we earned these relationships within
mhm,
them, because they explore their differences and they're also eager to explore their similarities. And the show did such a beautiful job of just, and I mean, when you have nothing but female directors and this,
yes.
like,
Yes.
oh, like, it just, it becomes so easy to highlight that because they notice these details, and there is a desire to express these stories in that very specific way.
Mhm. And I also have to let you know that you have my favorite quote of the whole show. I literally had to rewind it so I could write it down. But when Harriet's talking about her capacity for joy expanded with her capacity for pain, oh my gosh, I think it might have made me cry, honestly. What do you hope viewers take away when they watch this series and when they also get to know these characters?
So much. I mean, what you just said, like, what our capacity is, we are boundless. And that we're never done. We are never done. We continue to expand, we continue to grow. And that's what I love seeing with these characters. You may think that life is going to take you one way, but there's that, and this is one of my favorite things that is said in this show. It is that element of surprise,
Hmm.
where that surprise can take you, and how life can just take you down this whole other course, and maybe it's not what you expected, but that doesn't make it any less wonderful.
Mm, yeah. And to kind of wrap up, I have a couple rapid fire questions that you can answer as long or as short as you like.
Okay.
So oh, I lost my place. What book are you reading right now? Obviously, Lessons in Chemistry is a very popular book.
Yes, which I did read, and which I read before we even started filming, and I love the book. But right now I am reading Michelle Obama's The Light We Carry.
Oh, love.
Yes, I love
Do
Michelle.
you have any go-to dishes that you like to cook?
I'm not so much the cook in my family. But
I feel
when
that.
right? When I'm ordering out, I love ordering sushi.
Excellent. That's a great answer. What is the first Christmas song you press play on when the season starts if you're a Christmas music fan?
Ooh, I am a huge Christmas music fan, and I have two faves. The ever popular Mariah Carey.
Yes.
All I want for Christmas. As well as Santa Baby. I love that song.
Oh, those are great picks. And for the final question, what is a piece of advice that has impacted the way you live that you'd like to share?
Something that actually someone said to me recently that, like, hit me really hard, said that you are good. You are good no matter what. You don't have to do anything
Mm,
to be good. You are you're good just as you are.
mm.
I It's messaging that I wanna pass down to my son, that to not cultivate this idea that you have to be a certain way or earn love in this certain way, but to surrender to who you are and to stand in that and knowing yourself.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
love that. Thank you so much for taking the time to chat with me. Thank you so much for this show. Seriously, it's one of the best things, and I hope that everyone on the entire planet watches it.
Too. I mean, I love it. I love what we did. I am so proud of this show. It's been everything. It was just one of the greatest experiences I've ever had on a set. And
Oh, yeah.
it was just such a beautiful collaboration. I feel so lucky that I got to be part of it.
Oh, I love that. Yes. Well, have a good rest of your day and happy holidays, I suppose.
Happy holidays to you too. Thank you.
Thanks.